So after you get this thing unboxed, you got to pull all of the tags and just the silly stuff off. But the next thing that you have to do is you actually have to lift this up and remove these before you start this. And this is for storage during shipping. To put this on its side to remove these shipping, I don't know, braces. But here's the cool thing. See these little feet? The feet are allowed to work differently than a standard wheeled unit because it sits flat on those once you put it down. So this thing is gonna not have a lot of vibration and shake, which is really nice. Okay, so I've already removed 3 of the braces, the shipping braces. You can see the last one. It's a 10 mil socket, if you're interested. I think the reason they put these on is something to do with shipping. They probably want to brace the engine, but my guess is I'm just looking at kind of the design, this allows the engine to free float in the chassis. Just guessing. This is also, I believe, the intake for the engine. So one of the things a lot of people don't realize when you have an inverter generator or a lot of other generators that are considered a closed case like this is when the generator is flat on the ground, you want to make sure it's not sitting in grass because it can ingest dirt and debris and suck it up into the engine and intake. Here's another thing I just noticed. See these 4 holes? I'm assuming your oil drain and your fuel drain area. So that's pretty nice. This would be my 5th inverter generator. I've had 4 Predators and been very happy with them. I think they're a really good unit. I just kind of wanted to try something a little different and a little higher wattage. Before I ordered this, there wasn't actually a 5,000 or above 3,500 closed case inverter generator by Harbor Freight, but they just released one recently and it looks pretty awesome. I'm not gonna lie. I would have probably have gotten that unit, but there are some drawbacks. The one drawback for me is size. I'm limited by garage space by the width. I kind of need under 18 inches. This should help it fit in the garage area, so that was a big deal. So this is pretty important. Make sure you read all this and follow the instructions per the manufacturer. So we will put some oil in it now. One of the things I like about the Champion is this pretty nice little oil access. Let's see how easy this is to get. There we go. Really, this is pretty slick. I've not had a generator with this oil drain. That's gonna save for huge mess. That's really good job, Champion. Oh, what's this little notice? Just telling you 10W30 and how you check the oil depth. So I don't know if you can tell, but I'm at 1 thread until the end. It used the entire bottle. So that worked out pretty good. So the way you're supposed to check the oil the other way outside of the threads is set the dipstick on the engine case like this. Now let's pull it out. Let's see, now this looks still a little bit low. Huh. There we go. That's where we want it. All right, now we'll just screw the oil cap on, remove this little safety tag here. Not sure how that's on. And fire it up, clean it all up, and get it going. Here's a little homeowner pro tip. When you use a funnel and you're done with your funnel, pouring oil in it, whatever it is clean the inside of the funnel, the outside of the funnel, take the paper towel, push it into the end of the funnel, and then when you put it away, you probably have another funnel. You can set this in and just set it with the paper towel in there, and any residual oil left over will just go into this and you will not have a mess in your garage. Something else you want to check is make sure after you fill it up with oil that your drain tube is not leaking oil anywhere from where it connects to the crankcase or in the bottom. And then if it's not, in this case it's not, I'm gonna clean up some of this residual. Then you put it back up here where it is not dragging. Put the cover back on. You're locked. Now it's time to add some fuel. Okay, this is personal preference, but I'm actually gonna fill this up with 90 octane rec fuel. This has no ethanol in it. I typically like to run this stuff in stuff like generators or small engine stuff that I don't use as much, or the fuel might be setting for a while. Because no ethanol, it reduces the chance of your carburetors gumming up. So before I start it up, I'll put some fuel in it. I'm gonna do probably half a dozen, 5 or 6 of these pulls just to get a little oil into the crankshaft bearings and maybe up to the top end of the valve train, just to get it kind of lubricated before I fire it up so it doesn't do any first start engine damage. Okay, I got it filled up, about a 1/4 tank here. I'm going to actually put it in the run position, which is choke right here. Let's see how that works. Okay, pretty nice buttons. I'm gonna do pretty easy a break-in for the first 5 hours, like probably 1,000 watts or less, and then change the oil and put it back. Let's see. So this is the first start. Let's see how it does. First pull, that's incredible. Okay, it's in eco mode. I think you're supposed to turn that off for a little bit. Okay, you can see it's at 122 volts. Let's see. 60 hertz it's producing. Okay, 0 amp draw. I assume that's amps. Hours. Okay, first impression, really quiet. Not hearing anything vibrating, probably due to the feet design. Really like that. Super quiet. I'd say it's as quiet, maybe even a little quieter than the Predator. I like this. This is gonna be a nice unit, I can tell. Okay, it hardly has a load. This is, I think, like 1 amp, not even half an amp. We're gonna charge my son's little electric dirt bike up, so this is like 60 watts, but I figure for a little break-in, it's charging as we speak. One thing I've noticed is when you hit the button to refresh, it takes a minute or so for it to react. Okay, so we got 2 things charging right now. We got the little Razor, got the dirt bike, and I'm actually gonna throw the leaf blower battery on. Charging now. Amperage is still pretty low. Not even putting a drain on this thing, even in the eco mode. It just registered at the bottom of the scale, so we might be putting, I don't know what that is, 10% power area. All right, we're gonna put a little load on now. Turn the air compressor on. I think it's gonna be about 15 amps, 12 or 14 range. All right, now we're gonna see what kind of load this is gonna pull. Here we go. Pressure goes up and the generator pulls a little more amperage, so this is the max I'm going to do just during break-in for the first 5 hours. But you can still see 60 hertz and still at 120, 121 volts. Perfect. So I'm going to guess this is making around 1,800 watts. Okay, there we go. So you can see how much it just dropped down. The air compressor just hit its number. Not sure if you can see, but the oil goes right up to 1 thread from the end. So that's a perfect amount. I ended up using a 5W30 full synthetic. So this has been my typical break-in process I use on all my generators. I try to get about 5 hours or more on somewhere in the 25 to 30% of total wattage range for the generator. And then I change the oil like I just did, put a better full synthetic in before I do any sort of real testing. Then at that point, the generator is ready to go and broken in for when I do need it for whatever emergency use or boondocking with the trailer. I hope you enjoyed the video. Thanks for watching.